friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The revolution starts now.
We have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Turn those machines back on!
And we have to start by building a wall, a big, beautiful, powerful wall.
Show me the money!
You are fake news.
Oh, good for you. And how was it?
I don't know when they decided that they wanted to make a virtue out of selfishness.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on Earth.
Yeah, especially after 22, or wow. Nice. Sort of jinxed that. Got it. So after 2.5 years of sort of waiting that, I always sort of did the first and last show and that. Kept on coming up each show, different names and that. Sort of the revolution sort of stuck. Then coming up with the cheesy opener and that. But hey, everybody out there. Streaming live, or if you're streaming live at like fetradio.org/studio or out there in Breakers and that. We had the Men Are Icebreakers here today.
Good morning.
How you doing?
How's it going, guys?
Good.
Doing well.
Cool. So, you guys want to sort of introduce yourself or sort of me? Your choice.
I can introduce, you have Alex Morrow and then you have Nate Farrington, and I'll let them introduce themselves afterwards and where they're from. But Nate Farrington and then Richie Pinkowski. But Alex will go first. I'm Ian Duncan, the head coach, and I'll let Alex introduce himself, say where you're from, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so Alex Morrow. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. Played on the team last year. Went to Otterbein University. Pretty excited for the second season, and hope everyone else is as well.
And you also played junior hockey for who?
I didn't play juniors.
Well, I saw you played a little bit for me.
Yeah, back in the day, me and Coach Duncan crossed paths, so that's pretty cool getting to play for him now. So.
All right, Nate.
Nate Farrington. I'm from Freetown, Massachusetts. I went to Springfield College for 4 years, played 4 years there. And luckily, I didn't meet Coach Duncan growing up.
Tell us how you really feel.
No, he's a great guy. Love playing for him, even though he gets on me a lot. But that's good for me. That's what we need. That's what we're here for, to get better. And I'm excited to continue on this year.
Richie Pinkowski.
Yeah, Richie Pinkowski. Grew up in Allen Park, Michigan. I've been playing hockey my whole life. Played 3 years of high school, 3 years of juniors, and now I wound up here playing for Duncan, and it's a great time.
The Icebreakers is we're in our second season, as you know, Jeremiah, and this year having players like these guys back, these probably, I don't know what we have, 10 or 11 or 12 back, not exactly sure, and somewhere about 50%, and so they already know what to expect. And then they can pass on some of the things I got on to them about last year. In the pro game, it's totally different than the college game and junior game. There's so many different variables that go on, from the play, from the talent, from the intensity, from the fighting, all that stuff. It's a whole different ball of wax, and I'm trying to shove 10 million things down their throat and in their ears every day. And that's what the game of hockey is. The pro hockey game is a whole different game, and they found that out the hard way last year. But you know what? That's one thing complimentary from everybody in the league is that we played one way, and if we were down by 5, we're up by 5, and that's a compliment to these guys. And they followed through in the summer, did the same thing, working their butts off, and came back ready to go, and I can honestly say we're much better than last year from the goaltending out.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Especially sort of reading your whole bio and that after like Jennifer and that.
Sure.
98 Rookie of the Year.
Second, I was
second.
I was in I was in second place. Joe Neuendijk scored 52 goals. I had 19, so I gave him the nod for Rookie of the Year. But I was on the All Rookie team. Yes, I was NHL. Yes.
That has to be like from your guys' perspective. what do you guys sort of think of that?
I mean, that's awesome. A coach that has that type of experience and, wisdom in the game of hockey, being able to coach us and teach us, what he knows. It's awesome having that from a player perspective. I don't know if you guys want to touch on that.
It's nice to have somebody that knows the game and's been in the game, and that's kind of what you look for as a player, somebody that can further your game as well, and his experience helps out a lot. So it is kind of like a dream come true, every coach that can.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get to that level without a good work ethic, and obviously you need the skill and talent as well, but a lot of it is your work ethic, and I think that's what he's trying to instill on us, is no matter what level of hockey we want to get to, the work ethic's going to get there over anything else. It's going to get us to that level.
Fair enough.
Well, and I'm the same way. I learned from when I was playing, and I try and take in things that I didn't like and things that I liked, from my coaches growing up. I was lucky enough to have some of the best coaches in the world in the NHL and in college. Tip my hat to Jerry York, the winningest coach in NCAA history at Bowling Green State University, still coaching into his 70s now. Wow. And at Boston College, and I think he's won 5 national championships. Nice. So I was lucky enough through hard work. It wasn't through talent. It was more through hard work that got me where I needed to get to through scholarships in hockey, and then moving on to the NHL. But like I said, like Nate just said, it's all about your work ethic and whatever you do. If it's sports or homework or your radio gigs or whatever it is, if you put your best effort into it and you put your mind and your heart into it, good things will happen. And sure, there's going to be some bumps in the road. I went through numerous injuries throughout my 12-year pro career, but it just kind of made me want more. So there are going to be some bumps in the road, but you have to push through, and that's what I try and translate to these guys every single day, is work your ass off and good things will happen.
Fair enough. Not including my one actual advisor from across the street. He's sort of messaging in, what got you guys interested into the whole, I want to play hockey, the game of hockey?
Like when we first started out, man.
Yeah.
So I first started skating when I was 4 years old. My mom asked what I wanted to do for my birthday. I was like, I want to go ice skating. And it was kind of odd because I was in Oklahoma at the time. So she was like, yeah. Went skating, fell in love with the game of hockey. When I moved to Ohio, got in playing, and then been playing ever since. So, you get that love for the game at a young age, and it just lights a fire in your belly.
For me personally, I really like playing all sports. So I grew up playing almost everything with a ball, stick, hoop, net, whatever you want. I was playing it. But the thing I really loved about hockey is the people you meet along the way, the teammates that you get, the intensity of the game, the pace of the game. That just kind of drew me in, and from then on out, it was just hockey.
Fair enough.
Yeah, kind of the same. Playing a lot of sports growing up. When I started, I was really young, didn't really know what was going on, but I enjoyed skating. Like he said, the intensity was way faster, and all the other sports started boring me, and the teammates were just, one of a kind, so just couldn't get away for the love of the game.
Fair enough.
Well, like I tell people in Canada, you have 3 choices of sports: hockey, or hockey. So I took hockey. No, it's just a lifelong passion. My older brother, Scott, played hockey, and I just wanted to be like him, and I used to dress up in full gear every game for him and sit in the stands with all my gear on. And then one time, it's pretty funny, my brother was 9, I was 4. Some lady said, "Are you late for your game?" Because I had my whole uniform on and skates. So she tied my skates on, dropped me over, and pushed me to center. And my brother's just like shaking his head on the bench going, "Get my younger brother off the ice." So I've loved the sport ever since I've been 4 years old. I teach and train kids all summer long. I see about 250 kids a week. I train them in Lakewood. I'm a West Sider, but I commute to Menor 6 days a week at least. But I train a lot of kids with Team Ohio. It's a youth organization over there, and I like the training part of it. I do the same thing with these guys, just a little more technical in some of our skill stuff. But I like to say amateurs work at things until they get it right, and professionals work at things till they don't get it wrong. And these guys have to perfect their craft, and their craft right now is playing professional hockey.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But since I know, like we sort of went over a little off, then even sort of hinted in the beginning that with like last year being the first year, being at the Menor Ice Arena, sort of forming everything together, you know, what did you think went great last year?
I think a lot of things went great. You know, the team got put together pretty late, so it was a scramble to get everything together. And, you know, our front office and ownership and everything did a good job of providing for us and, you know, bringing that good atmosphere. Yeah, we didn't start off the year so great last year, but we were learning the game of pro hockey, right? And we got better as the season went on, made a lot of awesome friendships and stuff like that, and I think that we really grew as a team on and off the ice. So
fair enough.
Yeah, I agree. Finding everyone last year that we had was great. Just a bunch of hardworking people wanting to be successful, working for it, getting better. That was definitely something that went well.
It's a hard gig starting from scratch. From
True.
Like the boys were talking about here about the housing. You know, trying to house 21 people isn't easy, and but we did as much as we could last year with what we had to work with, and then we had a full summer this year. Thank you to our partners out there. The staff this summer, we've added a couple new people to our staff, and it's been great for everybody. We've got different restaurants on board that are preferred restaurants for fans and players. Even visiting teams get a discount. So it's something that we're happy to be in Menor. We're looking forward to this season. Home opener on November 9th here on Saturday is going to be pretty wild with all new sound system and our video board, and Larry the magician Rummel back there, our AV guy, is hard at work every day for the last month and making sure it's going to be a show for Saturday night, our home opener.
Fair enough.
I can't let that question go unpassed without giving our athletic trainer Sean a shout out. He's unreal. He's always there for us, and he was definitely a huge part of the team last year, and is going to continue to be this year. He's just a great guy, and he wants what's best for us. And I know that was something Coach really harped on, that he wanted the best medical staff in the league, and I think that we do have that in Sean. So thank you, Sean. We love you.
We do.
Sean.
Love you, Sean.
That's the nice thing with Lake Health on board. Thank goodness the staff over there recognizes how important athletic trainer is, and we are the only team in the league that has a full-time athletic trainer that travels with us, is at every practice, every game, every hotel room, every morning workout in the pool, Marco Polo. But it's great having Sean's Sean around, his knowledge of sports injuries, from working with the Chicago Bears to the Cleveland Browns in different sports, but he still says hockey's tougher, so I like Sean a lot when he says that. But it's a whole different ball of wax. The first night, last year, opening night, I think four guys were stitched up, and he's like, "Coach, is it going to be like that every single night?" And I'm like, no, there's just a little feistiness the first night. It'll calm down. So,
it's true.
Last year was a tough season for us, but again, we learn from you learn from your mistakes, hopefully, and we did, and we did get better as the season progressed. And there was one team that didn't. There was Menor Icebreakers was one team that a lot of teams didn't want to play in the playoffs. And they told us that after the playoffs were over, because they knew on any given night that we could beat them, even though we might be 20 or 30 points down in the standings. We're going to give you a battle every single night, and that's the work ethic of these guys showing off when we go in against the first place team and take 2 out of 3 sometimes.
Fair enough, definitely fair. But yeah, it's everyone at first, even like sort of fans in that, especially like from the player's perspective, like even like me. The trainer's always sort of that one important thing, you know. Like me sort of going like football and that, you know, guy steps on your ankle when you're on the bottom of the pile and you just feel that, you know, ligament in that, and you're just up sort of gimping in that. They're an important part of like everything.
Oh yeah, huge part.
Yeah.
The trainer's awesome. So
Yeah, we have, you know, on top of what we were just talking about, we have a team massage therapist also. We have a sports psychologist on board. We, you know, with Sean and his background, like I said, we didn't vote ourselves the best medical staff in the league. The league did, and again, it's kudos to Sean and the program he puts together with Lake Health, but it's also something that we try to do for the players. On the other end, we can't pay them millions and millions of dollars like the NHL, but I try and get as many, if you want to call them luxury things, away from the rink as best I can under the certain circumstances of you know, single A hockey. And we have a budget, and we have to keep to that budget as best we can, or I won't be commuting from the west side anymore if I don't stay to the budget. So I try and do the little things for them, and because I asked them to go to battle for me, and I'm going to do the little things for them that fills their belly full of
sort of the battle
food.
both
Yeah,
ways.
Exactly. Yeah, I get to fill your belly full of food, and then I get to yell at you and kick you in the ass and practice in the morning. So that's what it's all about. Exactly, right?
See, appreciation always around.
No, it's all good. It's fun watching these guys, you know, succeed at the little things.
Yeah.
In the game of hockey, there's 10 million things, just like in sports. You hope to teach 1,000 of them that happen the most, and but there are 10 million things that can happen in any situation on the ice. And the love of the sport, as we all talk about, I love it because it's the fastest team sport in the world,
Yeah.
and there's no out of bounds. That's the one thing I love about hockey. Every other sport has out of bounds, and so it's just one of those things. I think hockey really encompasses every other sport, and there's no, you know, whatever the sport is. But the boys that touched on it a little bit, the teammates you meet. I still stay connected to players from when I was 10 years old in Toronto. You know, it's through Facebook and saying hi and sending funny stuff to each other and laughing at each other. And I had a friend of mine, I hadn't seen him in 25 years, showed up at my door like 3 years ago. He was a retired police officer in Toronto, and he says, I'm going on a 6-month drive. I'm stopping at your house next week. I'm like, all right, cool, man. Stop on by. And he showed up, stayed for a couple, 3 days, and it was like we hadn't missed a beat in 25 years. So the relationships you build in hockey, you'll be joking with these guys at 50 years old, and I do that now. Even guys I played in the NHL and hated and fought probably every other night, but now they're my buddies on Facebook, and we're cracking jokes and busting each other's balls all the time, and that's what it's all about. It's a big family. Hockey is one really big family. Sports are big families, but hockey in general, there's not a lot of, you spend more time with your hockey family in the winter time than you do with your regular family, and that's how teams succeed on and off the ice, being good people and great athletes.
Well, it's definitely true, especially on those long road trips and all that. Like how you were talking about just earlier off air and that, going out to Delaware. You know, those long giant trips, and that you start learning from one another, you know, and all that, all those different things.
Well, it takes a lot because you're spending a lot of time with people that you just met, and you know how uncomfortable that can be. Yes. And that's one thing you have to get over. He's your teammate. You have to respect him. You have to respect their thoughts, their values. You might not think the same off the ice, and you might not hang out, but on the ice, you're teammates, and you back each other up. And that's one thing you have to learn. When you step on the ice, you're on the same team. You play for the name on the front of the jersey, not on the back. And if you can succeed and open your ears and open your eyes and take everything in and, help the younger guys. That's why it's nice this year. I don't have to preach so much because these guys are already preaching a little bit for me when we're doing stuff, and I could hear them, make sure you do this, make sure you do this to the certain, some individuals, some Europeans can hardly speak English, which is always fun. I had to explain Zamboni to Vlad. He's skating around. I'm like, the Zamboni is coming out? And he starts getting faster. I'm like, get off the ice. Here comes the Zamboni. So, no, it's a love affair, it really is. There's a lot of times, like on that trip to Delaware next week, we'll have to leave at like 8 o'clock in the morning for a 7 o'clock game. And then we won't get back in until 6 or 7 in the morning, and then have to play a 6:30 game that night. And then we'll play again that Sunday afternoon at home. But that's the love of the sport. That's the commitment these guys make. And, it's exciting. It's exciting hockey. I'm proud to be their coach. I'm proud to be the general manager of the team. And I really want to, we're going to place ourselves well in the standings this year and be in the playoffs. And I would love nothing more than to hang a banner and bring a championship to Menor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But see, all your hard work of here and there getting on them is sort of a good thing. Like, even like me from like previous coaches and that, every once in a while you think, oh, I'm doing this right, or and that every once in a while it's a good thing to have them on you, that they sort of say, hey, no, not that. Don't think that's not a good thing. No, do it this way.
Yeah, you got to be held accountable and stuff like that, and it's nice, because sometimes you have off practice, and you gotta know that you were having an off practice, right? And it shapes you as a player and a person off the ice as well.
Yeah, that's when every once in a while looking at films is not always the best thing.
Oh, those are great.
I love film.
Or every once in a while, you're not paying attention, you're paying something else, someone else, or you have someone keep you in check of, no, pay attention to this, you need to fix this behavior.
Yeah, we go over every scenario in practice too, and then we'll watch some game film, and I'll point out the good and the bad,
and the funny too,
and the funny.
You can't help but not, No,
you have to show that. That's you can have a lot of fun, but you have to work hard at the same time, and I think we do both very well. We have a good bunch of guys. It's like we've talked about before. It's just one big family, and that's the way we have to be. When you have your time away, have your time away. But when you're together, have a smile on your face and come ready to work.
Okay. Hopefully we have someone else out in the chat. So what attracted you to come to the Icebreakers?
Go ahead, Pink. You haven't said much in about 6 minutes.
I know. I was even thinking that. I'm not even your coach.
Well, honestly, kind of just worked out as fate. I just wanted to be a professional hockey player, and I just kept typing in the Google search bar for pro tryout and kept signing up and going. And I went to a pro showcase. I got signed to another team in the league, Elmira, who then traded me to Menor before the camp even started. And I ended up making the team and everything worked out, but just kind of worked as fate.
For me personally, I went and tried out for Pensacola right out of college and in the SP and didn't make it.
Explain what the SP is.
The SPHL is
Southern Pro Hockey League.
Southern Professional Hockey League. They're another kind of minor league system. Ideally a feeder to the East Coast and beyond. That's where we're all trying to get to. And that's where we can get called up to from here as well. It's another league. So unfortunately I didn't make that team, and kind of took a year off from hockey and had to regroup, kind of think about what I wanted to do. I had my degree in physical education from Springfield College, which is unbelievable. So whenever my hockey career does end, I do have something to fall back on, and I'm excited about. But there's just something about the sport that I just couldn't get away from. I wanted to see how far I could go, And like I said, I just missed the camaraderie of the team, the pace of the game. The men's league just wasn't cutting it. I really just wanted to play a competitive style of hockey. And Menor had a free agent camp, and figured I'd give it a shot. And here I am. I'm lucky to be here. I'm blessed, and I just want to keep working hard and see where I can go with this and see where we can go with this as a team. I think we have a good group of guys, and I think everyone would be lying to you if they said the goal wasn't a championship this year, and that's where the mindset is right now.
100%. So mine, kind of the same, a little different though. So I was a skills coach before, right after college, and I wanted to translate like what I taught to my game. Did that, train for a while, went to the Birmingham Bulls in the Southern Professional Hockey League. Their tryout, the coach said, hey, like, you did well, but we don't have a spot for you. Saw that Menor created a team, saw that Coach Duncan was the coach, and I was like, yeah. Crossed paths with him when I was younger. Loved him as a coach back then. Wanted to play for him again, so sent him an email and went to the tryout, and now I'm here. So.
And Nate, didn't you send me an email too?
Yeah, I sent it.
And I never responded, right?
Well, I sent it with one eye.
There you go.
In the first name.
He was mad at me for not responding to his email, but then he figured it out that he sent it to the wrong email. So
what kind of Ian spells his name with two I's?
My mother.
I'm just kidding.
Fair enough. Well, that's almost like here, you had the faculty, or at Lakeland CC. Mm-hmm. Students are male at CC. Yeah. Every once in a while, they add the male into the faculty. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It leads to many things.
Oh, yeah.
I feel it. Everyone sort of misinterpreted that one. Not including my one advisor wants to ask, so what is, well, in a way, besides just a Duncan, in a way, Tim, this leads sort of both ways of, what is the most challenging opponent that you guys have sort of in the conference or the league?
Who's the most challenging?
Last year, I think it was definitely Carolina. Going down there in that atmosphere, that place rocks.
They won the championship last year.
They won the championship as well. I don't think they lost 10 games all year. And big, strong, fast team. And I think just thinking about that in the summer, of what level we want to get to and where we want to compete, definitely helped us. And that's the kind of hockey we want to play. We want to play fast. We want to play strong. And we want to be better than that. And that was definitely the most challenging team.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. Last year was them. Like Coach Duncan touched on, they won it all last year. And like Nate said, they only lost about 10 games. Luckily, we were the ones that, gave them a pretty good fight, and we beat them a couple times down in their barn and at our barn. So that kind of just shows, like Coach Duncan was saying, we battle. We're a team that, we're not going to roll over. But yeah, Carolina last year was the team to beat. So, but this year I think, we're all battling and stuff, and hopefully people are going to be saying about us this year. So,
fair enough.
Yeah, Carolina for sure. They're just a lot of SP guys ready for a call up, sitting in the Fed. Really, they're big, fast, strong. They knew their game. They had good systems, and they stuck to it every single night. And they never let up, but neither did we. So we took some games from them. But it was a challenge every night.
Yeah, for us, I mean, every night is, a tough opponent, but I would say Carolina, but also Elmira. We had a little, I don't know what it was, just a, brother-sister brawl every other night, but there was something between the two teams that there was a lot of dislike, and I'm good with that. I don't have a problem with that. It gets you ready for your game. It gets you on your game before your game. If you're not on top of your game against a team like Elmira or Carolina, you're going to get punched in the face, and then it's a wake-up call, and you're behind 2 or 3 goals. It's I like that kind of hockey, in your face, as like Nate was referring to. We have a lot of skill on our team, We have to learn how to use that skill a lot of times. We rely on it sometimes too much instead of just, as I call it, ham and egg it. Let's get the shot on net and go get the puck instead of trying to do twirls and pirouettes and cut into the middle all the time, Alex.
Lobster bisque.
Lobster flambe. That's lobster flambe.
But it's no, it's
At least I wasn't the only one thinking that.
it's a lot of fun though. It's watching these guys grow as not just athletes but as young men, and there's a lot of things that we're doing that the league is kind of following our lead. I'm real proud of that we have a dress code now in this league for the first time ever in 10 years. It's either suit and tie or team sweatsuits only. And I was banging that gong this past league meetings in Chicago for about 4 days of 14 hours straight, which was great. But I was really just, I want this league to represent the players on the ice and not showing up in a pair of ripped up jeans and flip-flops and your hat on backwards and a big chew, and come prepared to work and look like a professional and act like a professional and leave the building the way you walked in, and hopefully with 3 points and a win under our belt.
Fair. I definitely get that, coming, into a place looking like, you just went, did a whole bunch of yard work, all that, you got leaves all over you, that doesn't say, yeah. I get it.
No, I believe there's everything, the mind is a big thing in sports and in life, but it's 80% mental and 20% physical as far as I'm concerned. If you believe you can do something, you can, and if you believe you can't do something, you're right again. So you look good, you feel good, you play good. That's the way I went by back from my junior days. I've been putting a suit and tie on since I've been 12 years old. Didn't really like it, still don't like it. But
no, I get it.
It's part of the game. That's part of the respect that's built in the game, and that's why even if you beat the shit out of each other for 7 straight games in a playoff series, you shake each other's hand at the end of the series and nod your head, great job, congratulations, or screw you, we beat you. But it's the respect factor that's built on and off the ice, and that's the things that I love about the sport. Even teaching the young kids from 8 to 18, not just these guys in their 20s, is do things the right way, do them to the best of your ability, and have fun in life, and good things will happen. And I know I lived it. Like I said before, I wasn't talented out the yin-yang. I was more of a hard worker than anything. And I started on the 4th line on every team I started on and worked myself up to the 1st line. And then I'd have to reload the next year, start on the 4th line and get to the 1st line. And I did that consecutively for 4, 5, 6, 8, 7 years in a row. And then that just fell into college and then fell into the pros. And here I am today, luckily enough, trying to give back to the game. Like I said, I've had some of the best mentors in the game of hockey in the world. And I'm just trying to pass on just some of that knowledge that I was able to receive from them to these young men and the young athletes, girls and boys I train in the summertime.
Fair. So, since we sort of hit on it earlier, but that was before actually going on, so what are you looking out for year 2? Being in the area in Menor, more established.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're excited for year 2. Having that year under our belt, knowing what we're getting into and stuff like that. We're prepared for this season. And it's also nice, being over in Menor, because, last year we were in Willoughby Hills. Being in Menor, a little closer to the rink, get in the community a little bit more, and, hopefully just help give back, That's what all the game of hockey's all about, right? So,
yeah, I think Coach touched on it earlier. We want to learn from our mistakes, and I think we're doing a good job of it this year. Already, we learned from our mistake this year. Came in and took the first one to Watertown, and then didn't come out with our best effort on Saturday. And we were able to follow it up the next weekend and take the Friday night and be ready to go Saturday. It's still something we got to work on, but I think we're going to do a good job at that this year. And I think as returners, that's something we need to harp on and get up for those 2-game weekends, those 3-game weekends, and bring that same energy and same effort And I think the experience we had last year is really going to help.
Fair. You can't be the quiet one. You can't be the quiet one.
I'm going to put this to that mine and Nate's answers. Just cover it so he just doesn't know what to say.
So
He's like, they already took
exactly
it.
what they said.
I'm pretty much trying to find a few things that they didn't touch up on.
The community. Talk about going to
Me and
talk
Nate
to
have
libraries,
A+
going to
answers.
Going to these guys, I know these guys, the adaptive skates, all that stuff. Yeah, all that stuff. Talk about that.
I mean, yeah, it's nice that we're in the community more and everyone knows of us. So it's like, I don't know, kind of like all know what to expect, and it's a lot easier not being rushed, and it's more organized. So like, we just kind of like smooth. Everything's a lot smoother, and yeah, I mean, practices are better. Honestly, like a lot better than last year. A lot more flow and speed and intensity, and like I don't know, we all love working hard. So it's nice having that we all agree on the same things, and we kind of already got it figured out. We had a little meeting at the beginning of the season and kind of like talked about everything, and we all agreed and we're all on the same page. It was kind of nice. It was nice.
In regards to the community, we do an adapted skate every Tuesday night at 5:30. And it's great getting out there working with those kids. You have a lot of fun. Especially the parents come up to us after, and they really appreciate what we're doing. They can see it, and we've gained some fans through that. And also we do library readings at elementary schools for the kids as well, families to come out for that. So look out for those on our promotional schedules. We'll be out there reading, signing autographs, reading for the kids. So we really want to establish a good last year we established a nice little base in the community, and this year we want to grow on that and continue to get our name out there and get the fans engaged on and off the ice.
I gotcha. But so far, being around for almost 2 years, we'll go of this. So what's been the most inspiring thing you sort of learned either from the team and coach, then sort of like from you reverse? I know table sort of turned just a little.
It's all right. I'll let them go first.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, like the most inspiring thing, just being involved in the community and stuff like that. I think this year versus last year, like, yeah, we were in the community last year, but like this year, people are recognizing us a little bit more, and going to these different events like the adapted skates and the readings, we put a smile on these kids' faces for a little bit, and it's awesome seeing that, being able to give that back to the community and stuff like that. So, like Coach was saying, like the game of hockey, it's great, like on and off the ice. It teaches you a lot of life lessons, but also teaches you about like hard work and stuff like that. So that's what I would feel on that subject.
Yeah, it's nice that all the hard work that shows it's paying off. All the effort that we put into everything, the skating and the practices, being with the community, it all pays off. Even in the summertime, doing the extra work, we had the Menor Rocks and all the extra work.
Yeah.
I'd go to skates at the Menor Ice Arena, and there'd be fans there. Like, it's nice to see that all the hard work pays off, all the effort that you're putting in, it doesn't go to waste, and that's inspiring to me. That it just makes me want to work harder and harder and just keep doing it more and more.
I think the great part about this team is that when the front office comes down, posts a community service event on the locker room door, it's not a struggle to get guys for. We have guys that are eager to get out there and do the community service, not just because they're told to do it, but because they want to be out there, and we know the impact we can have. Even from a small stage of a single-A hockey team, we can still have an impact on a 5-6-year-old all the way up to 10, 12. We can have an impact on their lives and just make their day. And I think that's the great part about this team. And I think Coach taught us a lot about how to be a professional, and that comes along with being a professional. Yes, you got to show up to practice. You got to do your things on the ice, but you also have your responsibilities off the ice. And I take pride in the fact that our team enjoys doing those things.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
No, it's I learn from these guys, every week, and even the youth teams I coach and train all summer. Am I not explaining something correctly to a skill drill, or if there's 10 questions come out of it, that means I'm not explaining it correctly. So next time I explain this drill, I've got to explain certain aspects of it. And it's a learning experience. I've been coaching 20-something years, but at the same time, I want as much knowledge as I can take in from the sport by watching or listening. And I reach out to coaches and people that I've known in the business from my NHL days all the way from coaching in the USHL, and even my college days. I bounce stuff off of college coaches, just talking hockey. Still to this day, just to talk hockey and ask them anything, what's going on, what's your new thing you're working on, or what. I watch film. When I watch hockey games on TV, I'm studying more than watching. I think I'm trying to watch what they're doing or not doing in certain aspects. And I probably watched 10,000 games in my life, and I still want to watch another 10,000 and learn some more about the like I said, the fastest and best team sport in the world.
Fair. So, ever have sort of that little anxiety before a game? Worry about,
the nerves and stuff like that. So, I will say last year was a lot worse than this year. Not knowing what we were getting into right off the bat. And, so last year the anxiety was a little there. This year, for me personally, I'm a little bit more comfortable with the games. You get a little nervous. But if you don't get nervous, that shows you don't really care about it, right? So... Yeah, you got to take that a little bit of nervousness and apply it into your game. Know how to get ready with that and know how to take that fire out onto the ice. But I'd say this year's a little bit more better than last year for me personally.
Yeah, definitely the second year, a lot calmer. Still got the beginning of the game nerves, and the butterflies in your stomach. You're excited to go out there, but no anxiety about it. Not like the first season. Feel a lot calmer and just kind of know more so what to expect, and just go out there and do your job, control what you can control, and just let the rest fall in.
Then too, with sort of being established probably a little last year, was sort of the unease of not knowing what to expect.
Yeah, well, and
from crowd being there.
Right, last year we walked into some buildings and there was 3,000 to 4,000 people in there, and that place got loud. You got to learn how to tune out that crowd and be focused on your game at the same point. So,
fair.
I agree with them. I think that you go out there for warm-ups and you're feeling the puck. You could tell what kind of energy you got, and the nerves. Everybody's hands are getting going, and then once that puck drops, it's really just a hockey game.
Mm-hmm.
I think you gotta take a deep breath on the bench right after you snip those salts, the selling salts, and get going. So I guess that's kind of hard to contradict each other there, but just take a deep breath, and once the game gets going, again, it's just hockey, and just kind of revert back to those habits that you're developing in practice, and hopefully that translates into success on the ice as a team.
Fair. Yeah, have any other certain points?
No, I just try and get these guys prepared. During the week, I try and go over as many scenarios as we can. I try and change things up so they're not robots every single day like a lot of coaches do. They do the same 4 drills for the whole year, and it doesn't accomplish anything but unhappy hockey players because they know what they're doing and they just sleepwalk through it. So I try and change things up, but get them prepared in different ways over the same things, but just show it differently and different aspects of it, so they're thinking, not just going skating here, skating there, skating here. Because you have to react in the sport of hockey. You can't think too much. It's not like, you have to fill your gap in football and my job's done. There's a lot of gaps, and sure, you have to fill a certain area, but you have to really think about what you're doing and react, because if you think in hockey, you're already burnt. So the guy's gone. You're not going to catch him. So you have to really think defense first. I preach to these guys, defense wins championships, and it's true in every sport. I'd rather win 3-2 than 9-8. That means we suck on 8 goals. That really pisses me off when we give up 8. Yeah, we might score 9, but there's no reason to give up 8 goals in any hockey game. We try and preach, less than 3 a game against, and that means shutting out a team one period. So we can score one goal a period easily, or more with our talent up front. And our goaltending this year is stellar with Austin Rodebush in net, coming out of Toledo, Ohio. Big kid, 6'3", 238. He battles. It's nice to have back there. And then up front, we're stacked. I've got to make some choices here of who's in the lineup, who's not in the lineup, and it all depends on their practice. If they have a good week of practice, I'm probably going to put you in the lineup. If you have a crappy week of practice, you might not be in the lineup that weekend, and that's what I have this year. Is I have a little leeway now. I don't have to put the 5 guys that can skate up front or in the back. I have 23, 24, 25 quality hockey players that I could stick in there, and they'll all play. And that's the nice thing about our team. We have great depth, and that's what's going to carry us through this long season. It's a grind. It's every weekend for 6 straight months. No weekends off, and then you sprinkle in a couple extra at Thanksgiving. You sprinkle a couple extra games in at Christmas, and then you sprinkle a couple in at the end of the season with 3-and-3 nights, probably the last month of the season before you engage in 3 rounds of the playoffs. So it could be 6.5 to 7 straight months of hockey, and tip your hat at Sean again. He makes sure these boys are ready for the whole 6-7 month season.
Fair.
Love you, Sean. You the man.
10.
I'll be there at 10.
10.
I'm here for you.
That's funny. Outside of that, I have no other questions for you guys. Any other certain points you guys want to hit?
No, we just want to, invite people to the Menor Ice Arena, and I appreciate your time on here, Jeremiah. The Menor Ice Arena is, we've turned it into the Shark Tank, as we like to call it now. And we have a whole new sound system, whole new lighting gig going on with Larry Rummel, our AV technician over there. I call him MacGyver. He's just amazing with everything he does. And the fans, it's a family atmosphere, but it's also, there for the hockey fans. We have a great hot buffet upstairs in the Founders Room. We have your traditional food and stuff offered in the snack bar area with the Breakaway Cafe. And also just beer and wine sales upstairs and downstairs, and it's a family atmosphere, and we're looking to get as many people as there for our home opener on Saturday at 6:30 p.m. on November 9th. But during the season, it's here in Menor. You have a professional hockey team. We'll take the place of the Lake County Captains for 6 months, and then you can go back and see the Captains play some minor league ball. But
fair enough.
Just wanted to say thank you to you. And Lake Effect Radio here, and just letting us get out here and preach the gospel of pro hockey in Menor, Ohio.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys coming up and that, missing the masseuse and all that. I know. I'm sorry on that. But I appreciate definitely you guys making time coming up, coming from the other side of town too.
No problem.
And all that coming up. Because great organization. I haven't made it to a game last year, but this year.
You better come out this year.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Give Jennifer a call over there, and I'm sure she can hook you up. And please come and watch. These guys are, it's minor league hockey, but these guys are skilled, and they do work their ass off. And that's one thing I don't have to worry about that. That they're going to give their best effort. Sometimes the things don't go our way, but they continue to work in and day out in the gym. With our sports psychologist, and also, in the gym at AIM Performance Training. It's a great place for these guys to let off a little bit of steam, and at the same time get a little stronger and faster. And it translates to the ice, and I'm looking forward to the season and getting home and playing at home on Saturday night. It's going to be fun for us, I know, and playing a few home games after being on the road the last 2 weeks is exciting for us and exciting for me.
Especially sort of that delayed opening and that, I feel it. It's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, we don't want to. We want to give Menor High School. We share the parking lot.
Yeah.
So we want the number 1 team in the state. So We knew they're going to be ranked pretty high when we did the schedule in May, so we accounted for that, and we basically told the other teams in the league that the first 2 Fridays, weekends aren't available because of the Mentor Football High School.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, we share the parking lot.
Oh, snap.
And Friday nights is the parking lot starts filling up at like 4:35. And so we couldn't even hold a hockey game that night. And then Saturday, we might as well just go on the road, get those out of the way while the weather is, somewhat nice, instead of having snow on the ground. We don't see Watertown, the first team we played this weekend, last week, 2 weeks ago. We don't see them for 6 months. We see them the second last weekend of the season. And last year we saw them the first 6 games, 5 or 6. Yeah, they were the league champions last year. 2 years ago, Watertown, New York. Okay. And we played them 5 out of 6 games last year to start the season. So that's where our tough season started. But this year we'll get back home and start winning some games at home at the Mentor Ice Arena, and taking our show on the road here soon to Delaware.
Fair. But definitely appreciate you guys coming and that.
Yeah.
So definitely
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys taking time coming up here and that.
Absolutely.